Well, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Can you let the audience know a little bit brief detail about yourself?
So my name is Chiara Gheller. I am from Belgium. I've been here in Los Angeles for about 3 years now, and I've been acting since I was 7 years old.
Wow. So I gotta ask, and a lot of people may be wondering as well, people who may not know you, what
Mhm.
made you do that journey across all the way to the United States to follow your career, your dream, to be in the entertainment industry?
Well, so it goes way back to when I was 7 years old. Um, I I had the chance to have parents who would allow us to do, pretty much everything and anything as long as we would take it seriously and practice and,
Hmm.
go through with it. So I started with like, music theory, piano, ballet. But then one day I went to see my older siblings on the performance in theater. And I was part of the audience. I was looking at them and I was like, I don't know, I was mesmerized. And I had this warm feeling inside of me. And I was like, this is it. That's what I want to do. That's exactly where I want to be. So the next year I started to take theater classes at the academy, and I've never stopped ever since. I had the opportunity to perform on stage in Switzerland, in Belgium, in Poland, in Sicily, and then in the US. um, and I've never stopped. I kept going with my life and everything, but my main goal was always to be an actress. And then one day I got accepted into an acting school here in the US. The thing is, none of my family has ever been here. It was a big journey, it was a big step, and also me pursuing only arts was a first. So nobody was backing me up really on this one. I had a huge chance to have friends to support me to get here. So I literally took a leap of faith, and it's getting pretty well.
So, curiosity, what were you doing before acting?
So I've been to two different universities before getting here. I was always in languages. The first one I was studying Egyptology, Arabic, history, but from the Oriental part of the world. Then I changed and I went to another university. I went to translation interpretation, English Russian, English Italian. And that was actually why I was in my second year in that university that I got accepted here. So I literally just finished my year. I asked to postpone my admission for a year because, prices here are super expensive for university. I will not used to that in Europe at all. Um, so asked to postpone my admission for a year. So I just finished my year at university, stopped my study, like stopped my studies there and started working. I had like four, sometimes five jobs a week because I really wanted to reach my goal and to be able to
Hmm.
come here with enough money and everything. So that's what I did. Was focused and I'm still am.
Wow. What's the difference between Europe and America acting?
There is a lot. The thing also is I feel like when you speak multiple languages like I do, I feel like every time I'm changing language, I'm also changing persona. Like I'm a different person because I'm speaking a different language, so I'm going into a different culture and everything. The humor is different. Usually when you watch a movie in American and the same movie in the French version, it sometimes has nothing to do alike because the humor is adapted to the culture, the expressions and everything. So I would say in Europe, I mean, from what I've learned, in Europe, it's way more conservatory, way more classical. And here I still learn classical theater, but I also learned different techniques with incredible instructors who didn't tell me, oh, that's a technique and you have to stick to it. They said, no, this is a technique. If it doesn't suit you, that's fine. That's a tool you can have. You can mix, match, all the different techniques and create something that suits you. So they were way more open on what we could do that would work for us.
Wow. And as an actress, um, what have you learned so far being in the United States and especially in Los Angeles?
I've learned just in the art field or in general.
In the art field.
In the okay. Um, I've learned that being vulnerable is not a bad thing, but the biggest thing I've learned for me being a perfectionist is perfect is not a thing.
Hmm.
No human being is perfect, so perfection is not a thing in theater because it's supposed to be human. So I had such a hard time. I always wanted to please my instructors. I always wanted to make sure I was doing things right to the point that they tried to make me things do that would go way out of the line because they wanted me to break that image of trying to be perfect. They wanted me to make mistakes. They wanted me to try, take big risks. So, and thanks to them, I found that way. I discovered that I didn't need to be perfect because first of all, it's not a thing. Nobody is, and it's just perfection is also very subjective. Um, and so yeah, I discovered all these incredible tools thanks to them, and all this ways that my feelings, my traumas, everything in my life I could use, always with the limits, to there's always a limit to protect yourself and not cross that line, not going too far in your own mind. But actually breaking through my feelings, let them live is not about things. It's actually what will bring my performance to the audience, what would react with them even more, that would be even the best performance I could give is when I let my feeling lead me.
Hmm. And you're right. You got to be vulnerable and being in the
Mm,
entertainment industry. You got to have a thick skin
yes, you
because,
do.
yeah, that's for sure. And now, any upcoming projects that you can talk about?
So I've been to several verticals, two of them which I believe are going to come out around September on different app. It's either Net Short or Drama Box. Like they have all these different apps. One of them is called My Bad. Falling for You Again, and the other one is oh my God, I've done so many lately. I'm trying to think about the one in which I had like an actual like real scene where you can actually see me more and everything. Um, oh, I'm blinking. I have the scene I've done in my mind. Oh, I know. It's the mafia queen versus the evil neighbor.
Okay. Wow. And when is that coming out?
So these are coming out in September. Same as, I mean, technically in August, this month, end of this month, we would like to also release a project I've been working on as produced and was also part of. It's called Green or Gold, Chasing the Hollywood Dream. It's a documentary about people like me, so students from all over the world who came to Hollywood to pursue their career, their dream. And that's giving you a lot enough supposed to give you enough information for you from abroad to know what you need to prepare visa wise, administration and everything to be able to get here in the first place and then to be able to stay here in the second place.
Ah, that's amazing. And for yourself, how do you get into character when you're on set?
So that's something I actually learned here is you probably have heard that before, the moment before.
Hmm.
And yeah. So first of all, of course you have the research before. So you read the entire play or the script or whatever, you take all the information that's given about your character, and then if there's some missing, well, you do your new research, you create your own bio, you give a background to a character, and regarding the time it's happening, the place, do your research about okay, what was happening that time in that place, what was the atmosphere. I usually most likely would play female characters, so what was the female condition at the time, how ongoing I could be at the time and everything. So that's previous work. Then when it's the moment to get really, you're on stage, you're in backstage, you're waiting to get in. That's the moment before. Like, what was I doing right before I'm about to get on stage right now? What was happening in my life? I mean, in the character's life, which technically becomes my life at the time.
Hmm.
Um, what was I doing? So I put myself in condition and I'm focused. There's nothing else around me anymore. I am in my character's mind. I am in the same state she is right now with what was happening to her just before she got on stage. So when I'm getting on stage, it's not when the scene's actually starting. The scene was starting already for me
Hmm.
backstage.
That's a good way. That's a good one. That's a good way to get yourself prepared to be on set.
Mm-mm.
What was the most challenging role you ever taken?
Ooh, it's funny, but the most challenging role I've ever taken was actually a role that was a lot like me. Like, I believe it was Lenny from the play, I believe it was Crimes of the Heart.
Hmm.
It's a story of three sisters. And the eldest was Lenny. She's very, the model daughter, she's a protector for her younger sisters. She's always, organized, always responsible. And that's a lot how I grew up too. And so it was so hard. I realized that it's really, really hard to play yourself on stage. I don't know why, but it is like I find it way easier to get into someone else's skin than to play myself because then am I actually like you tend to actually play to perform instead of be anymore. And that was very conflictual for me.
Wow. So that must have been a really tough role for you.
It was. I realized that I don't know, for some reason it was harder for me to be myself on stage instead of being someone else. Because again, you tend to perform who you are instead of just be who you already are.
Right. Now, you said you performed on stage. I'm assuming theater, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I gotta ask, theater versus camera, which do you like the most?
Ugh, okay. So I'm gonna be very, very honest about that one. I found on camera way easier than on stage.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, I found it way easier. Why? Because on stage, when your character is down or sad or depressive, in real life, you would tend to be more like, whispering. You tend to be more, just on yourself. You cannot do that on stage. Only the first one would hear you. You need to be sad, depressed, whatever, but loud enough for the entire room to hear you. Whereas in on camera, you can whisper all you want. The mic is there to do its job. The mic is there to catch up everything you're gonna say. You don't even have to, you know, I feel like it's even more real on camera because you can allow yourself to actually be and feel how you would in real life because you know that there's a full crew around you who's doing their job to make sure that we hear everything, we see everything. Whereas on stage, it's all on you. And it's all on you for them to enjoy what you're doing, for them to hear what you're saying and everything. So I would say, yeah, on camera for me is way easier than on stage, but nothing made me a better actor than playing on stage because that's way more work, that's way more um, giving of yourself for example, on stage we see all of you. There's no way of hiding. On camera, well, if the anchor is right here, you need to move your leg. Nobody's is seeing that. Like it doesn't change anything for the scene. But on stage, we're seeing all of you. You cannot just be static and just move your upper body. Like people will be
Right.
like, that doesn't even look real.
So on theater, it seems like it's a good way for beginners to practice.
Oh, 100%. But even if you listen, I think it was who was it again? I believe it was Denzel Washington, who lately played in Gladiator 2, and he's also in the play Othello, I believe.
Hmm.
And he said it himself, like on stage theater is the best way to keep practicing your craft, because that's where acting takes its entire sense, its entire meaning.
Right. And that's true because, theater, I've heard that a lot of, what do you call it? A lot of actors like it better because if they make a mistake, they can continue, right? And on
Well,
can
yes and no. I mean, if they make a mistake, they better be good at improv, or you better have a good cast that would be able, to either to catch up the mistake without the audience noticing, or as you said, to keep going. But then you have everybody needs to know their text well enough to be able to skip pages, skip lines, and everything, but still have the story going. Whereas, as you said, as we were saying, I guess on camera, well, if you make a mistake, you can just redo the take. but
Right.
you're making the producer lose money, which you don't want to. So you still just be good in both.
Right. Gotta be good at both. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully, still in the US, please. um, in 5 years, I don't know if I see myself um because I don't want to sound cocky. I don't want to jinx anything either. But I can say what I would love to see myself in 5 years. I would love to see myself stable in my career.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see myself supported by good people, having a really good support system here in the US. I would love to see myself still here working and not needing, a side job or anything. Um, yeah, I would love to see myself happy. I don't want to say fully fulfilled or completed because I know it's not going to take 5 years. It's probably going to take more to really reach everything, every goal I have. But yeah, I would say in 5 years, I would love to see myself stable and still happy to do whatever I would be doing it there, but hopefully still as an actress.
Hey, amen. Keep that going, keep going, keep that courage to be in the entertainment industry. What was the most pivoted moment in your life?
Oh, there were so many. For still in the art or for me as a person,
Both.
both. Um, I would say when I was younger. So for me as a person, and that's probably linked to how I took the leap of faith to come here. When I was younger, when I was around 15, 16 years old, um, I lost my godfather, and he was young. He was
Hmm.
only 40 years old, and he left behind him two kids. One of his son was only 8 years old, and the other one was a baby. So his other son probably never doesn't even remember his father nowadays. Um, but he was so young, and he was such like a father figure for me. I was really close to him. He really shocked me when I lost him. But because he was so young and he left such young kids behind him when he passed away, it made me realize I knew it already, but it really made me realize at a time that I could die tomorrow.
Hmm.
There's no there's no saying I'm gonna live 100 years. So from that point on, from that moment on, I decided that I would never, ever leave fear control my life again. Every kind of fear I would have, I will overcome to prove myself I can do it and to prove myself that this is nothing. This is much more in my head than it actually is in real life. And it's 100% connected to me taking the leap of faith because if I hadn't, put that little seed at the time in my mind and let it grow, maybe I would have never taken the opportunity to come here.
Wow, that's true. Never live in fear. That's a good way to go. 100%. I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
As yourself an actress, what's your dream role? What's your dream genre role? And you're still young. You have as many years to go, long ways to go in your acting career. What
Hopefully.
what is what's your as yourself?
hmm
What is your dream role? What's your dream genre role?
It's so I don't have like a specific character. Like I know sometimes people have a very specific character in mind, like Spider-Man or something. I don't have a character, but I have a type. I would love to play the psychologically more dark aspect of society. I would love to play an unhinged character, or, you know, I would love to play the type of character because of how I look. I know people would never think of that when they look at me first at all, maybe at all. So I would love to play this kind of character that's unassuming, but behind just the appearance to show you that maybe she's completely unhinged or she's diabolical and you just would never guess it because she looks so innocent.
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
love to play this kind of like, double character, but I don't, if I do play an evil one, I don't want it to be evil just because she's evil, because oh my God, she hates people, whatever. that's too simple. I usually like to play more into really researched persona, intellectual, and more towards the real aspects of the brain and everything it can offer to society. Because so far, we usually tend to play on all the good parts. I would like to see where it would go if everything we know about, for example, criminal psychology, we apply it to a character. That would be the kind of character I would love to play.
Wow, that's a good one.
Mhm.
Um, what's your genre? What's your favorite genre film or TV show?
So I don't have a favorite because I feel like it's really hard to compare genres because, well, they don't check the same boxes.
Right.
Um, I say that as of now, the genre I have the easiest to play is drama because it usually takes about all your feelings, all your in-depth feelings, traumas, everything you are as a human
Mm-hmm.
being, you basically bring that. And that's for me, it's also therapeutic. And I feel like it's forcing me to be even more in touch with myself. I think that's whole connection with me, who I was, who I am, who I might be, and put that into the character. So for me, that's so far the easiest. I mean, maybe not the easiest because it can be also very, you need to be able to step out of it. It can be dangerous for you too if you cannot find that, thin line. So far I would say that's my favorite. But I would love to be good at comedy because I mean, I don't know if it's common knowledge, but I think I know that comedy is way harder than drama because it's about timing, it's about um the way you say things, and it's not about exaggerating. It's really all about archetypes and timing and everything. Like comedy for me, it's way harder than drama. I believe that an actor who's really good at comedy can do drama, but the opposite wouldn't be necessarily true. Um, and for the longest time, I thought I was terrible at comedy because I never shared, the most popular sense of humor. But then one of my mentors in the school I got here um, showed me different archetypes and present to me the cynic. So I tried that,
Mm-hmm.
and ironically, I'm very good at being a cynic.
That's good
So
to hear.
yeah, I would love to be, that's something I would work more is on my comedic side. Um, I wouldn't mind playing in comedy just because, in my opinion, it's the best antidepressant ever for the world. But that's that's not the genre I would see myself the more. I would say, yeah, so far would be drama or psychological thriller. I mean, I guess it's connected because I'm very passionate about criminal psychology. So obviously, I would target more those genres because it's connected to more to something I know I study and I'm passionate about. And also because look at me, I look like a child. Nobody would think of me for that, and I would love to play that even more because I don't look the part.
Right, right. I mean, that's amazing that you have the passions and everything for what role you want to do, right? And so, just curiosity is, does your siblings act as well still?
Um, so so I have four siblings from the same mother, same father. My oldest sister, acted. She still acts sometimes now in like more like in troops or collectives and stuff. But she didn't make it her main job. I know right now back in my country, she's trying to get into on camera right now. She's trying to get some training because that's still something she would love to do. But other than her, my other siblings completely stopped. But my grandmother has been doing theater for over 30 years now and still ongoing.
Wow, amazing. So
Yeah.
it's the family genes, family
I guess
tradition.
so. I guess so. It's true. Now I think of it, it was always there somehow.
Right. Yeah, and you're the one in the family that went across to go
Oh
to.
yeah, I was the one who decided I don't want your common boring life. I don't want to have any regrets. This is what I want to do with your support or not. This is what I'm gonna do.
Hmm. Right. And you came all the way here to Los Angeles. That's amazing. And let's talk about, you briefly talked about the struggles in Los Angeles, and
Mhm.
let's go a little more in depth. How, like, what was it like for a couple of days, being in Los Angeles and the struggles and, you
It
know,
was it was very hard. I'm not gonna lie. My first year in Los Angeles was probably the most difficult year I had to live through on my own because, well, first of all, it's never easy when you leave everything behind and you're the only person here. Like, I have no friends here, no family. I mean, now I have, but when I came, I had no friends here, no family here. Everybody was back in Europe. So it was basically if something happened, I'm on my own. And I had a really hard time to adapt to all the cultural differences. And some people who wouldn't understand or couldn't understand that I didn't grow up with the same taboos as them or, the same rules as them. So I'm always eager to hear, like if I'm doing something wrong, I'm open to learn. Just tell me because I know I am the foreigner here. So I am the outsider. So I'm completely open to learn your way, to learn your culture and everything. I love that anyway. Like that's why
right.
I speak as many languages as I am now, and I would love to speak more in the
And
future. Oh, sorry.
no, no, go ahead. You said languages. I want to follow up with that real quick. How many languages can you speak?
So right now, fluently, completely fluently, I speak three. I speak French, English, and Italian. Then I have my Spanish. I don't consider my Spanish to be fluent yet, just because, sometimes I still need to think about before I speak. But I can have a whole conversation in Spanish. That's not an issue. And then I'm still working on those languages, but I have some Japanese, I have some Russian. Um, I have some Flemish, which is one of the three national languages of my country. Yeah, I'm getting by. I have some words of Polish here and
That's
there.
that's
Yeah.
amazing because, pardon me, that's amazing because you can act in those roles as well.
Yes, I did. That actually in Europe when I was performing in different countries, I was performing in different languages.
That's amazing. It
I
will help you
love
for sure.
it.
Right.
I love languages because I feel like it's not a barrier. It's actually the biggest connection you can have between people and it's
Right.
it's a
100%.
door, it's the biggest door to get into someone's culture and through their language. It's amazing. But
Yes.
yeah.
100%. I totally agree with you.
But yeah,
Um, let's talk about how was it the struggles and how not I guess struggles or how was it finding friends in Los Angeles? The reason I'm asking you
yeah.
this is because if somebody who's going to be listening to your interview or watching this, they'll be curious, I want to move across the country to go to USA or something like that.
Oh
And
yeah, no, 100%,
what's your
100%.
advice and how did you do it?
So as I was saying, it was very hard for me, and not only hard, it was very lonely because, as I said, it was hard sometimes for people to understand that you don't come from the same background, not even from the same culture at all. The only people at the beginning who would get close to me would be people who either come from traveling a lot or, had known a very difficult situation in their family and had to go through some things. Those people were more open-minded and more understanding of me not being able to adapt to all your, I would say, not laws, but all your social cues, you know. And so at the beginning, only I had some people nice enough to every time I would make a mistake or say something here people don't come to me and really take the time to explain to me, oh, we don't do this because of that, or we don't say this because of that. It was, and I'm very grateful for them. But it doesn't change the fact that the first year I felt the loneliest I have ever been because I come from a culture way more welcoming and warm, a bit like Latinos. I feel in like when I meet Mexicans here or El Salvador or anything like you find a kind of welcoming and warmth in a lot of Latinos cultures as well. But other than that, I felt like people usually here are more. cautious about new people getting into their lives. Whereas in my culture, in my country, we welcome strangers open arms, my bad. Like it's very, and we're very like touching, like, we
Hmm.
hug a lot, we kiss on the cheek to say hello, goodbye. You see, we're very like, I don't know, simple, I guess. I don't know how exactly to say it, but it's just friendlier. We
Right.
don't care if you're a stranger or not. We would accept you the same. Um, Whereas here, if you're a stranger, they would have a hard time welcoming you into the group or having real, genuine connections with you. That's might be not everybody's, again, experience. That was mine. That was a huge cultural difference I had to overcome and adapt. But yeah, it was very hard to have that because I'm a people person, meaning I thrive
Hmm.
on genuine connections, on getting to know people, but not just on a, hey, what's up conversation, more on a, are you okay? No, let's talk about it. Let's be real about it. I can help you. I'm here. I'm a listener. I'm a shoulder if you need to cry. So I was missing that a lot. I had to, prove to them that I wasn't a threat, I guess, that I would be a, they know that I'm just human and that's a different kind of human maybe that they know, but I'm still good for them. But
Right.
yeah, it took time for me to adapt to the culture here, to also have all this, social distance with
Hmm. Hmm.
people, not hugging everybody every time I'm excited for them because a lot of people here don't like it.
Right.
um, so I had to learn about all that, but I didn't at the beginning, I was disliking it because I was feeling empty, not having those genuine connections. But then by the time I was learning their way and their culture, it became easier for me to understand how it was working here and therefore to adapt and to create more connections, not my way, but theirs, because at the end of the day, that's where I am. It's in their country. So it took me time. It took me about a year, but then I stayed with the same friends I had that first year, and then I got more, and it was easier because I still sometimes don't understand something that they would tell me, they would explain. But now it's easier for me to understand, to understand social boundaries, to just understand that some people love contact, some don't. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that they don't like you. It just means that that's not how they used to, and they don't want to change that because they feel uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's a lot of different social cues I had to relearn as if I was a child. I really felt like I was a child when I came here because it's like you're relearning everything you thought you knew doesn't exist. So yeah, it was a lot of learning, a lot of accepting, and a lot of being open
Hmm.
to new, to the unknown, and not trying to have any judgment about it, not saying, oh, my way was better because, or their way is better, because it's not a question of being better or worse in any way. It's just different. It's just being open to different, to unknown.
Very true. I 100% agree with you. Be open-minded and make
Hmm.
new friends. I totally agree with you on that one. What's the best advice you ever heard or received from?
um I would say I would say it's actually connected to what I said earlier. Don't be afraid to fail.
Hmm.
That's, I believe it can work in, not even in arts, but in general for anybody. From the moment you have an idea, in general, don't be afraid to fail. In my case, it was more because, as I said, I was always trying to be perfect in anything, and I was scared to be vulnerable. And so my teacher would would keep repeating to me, don't be afraid to fail. Take big risk and even make a fool of yourself if you have to. But get out of your comfort zone. Don't try to think what we are looking for. Show what you got and go overboard. Because if it's too much, then we have something to work on and to bring it a bit down. But if it's too low, you're not showing potential. They don't know what you can do. So yeah, no, yeah, I would say in general, don't be scared. Fail as much as you can, because that's the only way you can learn. And usually my other grandmother used to say, success is just an accumulation of failures.
Very true. I like that. Amen. 100%. Um, Now, where can everybody find you on social media and connect with you?
All right, so I have an Instagram. I feel like nowadays it's mandatory. I have an Instagram. It's called Chiara, Chiara dot like dot chaos. And it wasn't that before, but I changed it because I wanted Americans to understand that my name was pronounced Kiara, like chaos.
Kira. I was about to say there's a lot of dots there.
Yeah, because I wanted to make like that's my point. Um, because you cannot imagine the number of times people will call me Chiara or
Or
Ciara. And I was like, no, it's Chiara, like chaos. And I said it so many times. I changed my pseudo of Instagram. I was like, now they would understand Chiara, like chaos. And at the same
right.
time, it works both ways because I also like chaos. So here we go.
Wow. And I'm so proud of you. I can't wait for more projects you're gonna do.
Thank you. Well, there's another one we're gonna film here end of August with Jibril Turner. It's gonna be a bit less than 10 minutes and it's gonna be like a thriller. And I actually really like the script. That's why I wanted to work with him on that one. Um, it's a group of friends though, who wants to help the cousin of one of them because they think, he went back on bad habits, he went back on drugs and everything. So they want to help him, to intervene.
Hmm.
But turns out it wasn't what they thought.
Okay.
So something is gonna happen, dot, dot, dot.
I understand you can't spoil it because we can't.
No, because then the thriller is completely,
Right. We can't.
useless
We
if I
can't. We
spoil
can't
it.
spoil the movie. Right. We don't want you to spoil the movie. Now, my next question is: Is there any movies that you see in the movie theater that you would recommend to the audience?
As of late or as of in the last 5 years?
Maybe right now that's out in the theaters or next last
Right
year.
now, well, obviously Superman. I mean, I think I don't even need to explain why or what. Everybody knows Superman. And to be honest, I was very, very skeptical of watching it. I didn't want to at the beginning to watch it, but I had so many friends being like, "Oh my God, it was so beautiful. You need to watch it." Because I'm in love with the previous Supermans, not the Man of Steel. Oh my God, what's his name again? I think he passed away.
Oh yes,
Ah,
I know who you're talking about. Yes.
yeah, I forgot his name right now, but him, the original. And so I was skeptical about that. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a try. We never know because, sometimes the hype is not really good. And honestly, I cried. So so no, it was way more than what I was expecting. And it was beautiful, especially the way they portrayed Lex Luthor. They really made him human.
Hmm.
He's not just diabolical because he's rich and this and whatnot. He is a human being with human sense. And in my opinion, they made him even more powerful in that way because you can really connect to his character and really envision people around you that you might know or work with or whatever. You can see them. You can see him through them. Like you can connect to the movie even more than you used to because they made the movie way more human than the
Right.
other superhero movie that I've seen lately.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I saw it too, and I also saw
Right?
Mission Impossible.
Oh, it was good. The thing is, to be honest, the last two, so the part one and part two, are the only ever Mission Impossible movies I've ever watched. I've never seen none of the previous one ever.
What?
So maybe I spoiled myself because I believe there's a lot of references and characters who are part of the two last that were there
Okay,
before.
so a curious question. When you saw this newest one that was out right now, Were
Right.
you
Okay.
confused of this what's going on, or did you kind of figure it out?
Well, to be honest, so I've seen the part one before seeing the part two. But to be honest, it's nothing new. Like, it's a good action movie, don't get me wrong. Like, I still enjoyed it, but it's nothing new. Like, it's a scheme we're used to for old, especially old action movies.
Hmm.
So it wasn't hard for me to follow because it wasn't a new recipe. And from my understanding, it's not at all because there's probably like what, ten Mission Impossible movies or something. So it wasn't just, it's not really about the story that I was for because, it's repetitive at
Hmm.
some point.
Hmm.
But I still really enjoyed it. And I like the stakes and I like the fact that he's doing his stunts himself, which is crazy for me, especially when you see the stunts in the movie. That's insane. I'm pretty sure the director was having a heart attack every time he was doing the jump with the motorcycle, scared that he might die. We don't know. So no, I admired that part from him. Like, honestly, amen, man. I'm so glad you're still alive. But but yeah, no, the movie was incredible, and also there's an actor in it that I love because I knew him from the trilogy Star Trek. I forgot his name. In Star Trek, he's playing Scotty, and in Mission
I know
Impossible,
who you're talking about. I can't think of his name, but I know.
my God, why am I blanking on name right now? That's literally my job.
It should
But
be
yeah,
my job too, but it's blanking on me as well. I'm like,
that's that's okay. It's late. We're gonna say it's late. There has sun. Look at my face. I was burned. Like, too much sun. Too late. We're tired.
yeah,
But all my respect to him, though. I need to find his name right now
uh,
to exist.
I totally know who you're
But
talking about.
yeah, that's
And
insane.
it was a great. He did great in Scotty. He did great in Mission Impossible. He's a great actor. I totally agree. He's amazing. And
Right?
uh,
Okay, I have him here cast.
um, I think of his
Oh,
name was
Simon Pegg.
yes, Simon
Oh
Pegg.
my God, Simon Pegg, I love you. I'm so sorry I forgot your name. So sorry. I admire you. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, I knew him from Star Trek because I'm a huge Star Trek fan. And so when I saw him in the movie, I was like, oh my God, that movie just got better.
Yeah, it's a great movie, 100%. Well,
And
thank you.
if I can just recommend a movie that was released about 2 years ago do that didn't stay long in the movie theater, but I believe needs like wasn't recognized for what it was because it was really good. It
Hmm.
was called The Book of Clarence,
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
right? It was really good. It didn't stay long in movie theater because it wasn't a blockbuster or something. But honestly, even though I'm not following the Bible 100% and I'm not into all that much, I still like grew up Catholic. I still had catechism and everything. And the way they use the Bible to and some quotes and everything and the life of Jesus through the movie, which by the way, we're not following Jesus. Jesus is in the movie, but we're following someone else who
Hmm.
pretends to be Jesus at the same time. But it was incredible. Like the way that would sometimes quote the Bible in specific scenes, punchlines. That was incredible. I was amazed. I was the way they would put it in certain situation would make them feel even real, and you could actually use them nowadays with everything that's happening. That was incredible. Like, it's a good match, a good mix between comedy and drama. Like, you can, laugh out loud a second and then really be taken aback and cry the next second. It was really, really intense and smart. I really honestly I would recommend that 100%.
Yes, that's a good movie. I seen it once, and I highly recommend it as well. I totally agree that people need to
Right?
go see that movie. And yeah, like I said, I highly recommend seeing the rest of the Mission Impossible movies.
I've been told I will. I promise I will.
Okay.
Because the last movies made me want to watch the originals. I was like, oh my God, now I want to watch the first ones. Like, it might be
Right, it
so
makes you wonder, right? You have to. It's like you have
good.
to, right? To know the
Okay.
storyline of the movie, you have to know the storyline of the movie. That's very important. So, Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank
And
you for having me. It was a pleasure.
and thank you for following me on Instagram.
Oh no, of course. I like what you're doing, and I like how you're helping, other actors out and everything. And I honestly appreciate what you're doing.
Right. I just, we gotta support each other in this entertainment industry. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter where we're living in reality.
True.
And that's the one thing I love about Instagram real quick is that we're a family. We support each other. A
Yeah, and
list or
it's
B
really
list.
important. People in the business sometimes they think they can, do it by themselves and get at the top by themselves. No. If that's what you think, you're lying to yourself. You're gonna crash so
Right.
hard.
You need to
In
have
the
support.
industry, yeah, in the industry, it's a teamwork. It's a teamwork. And I would never emphasize that enough. It's a teamwork. As we say, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, it
So,
does.
so that's exactly what it is. And it's true. Like, it's a team and also it's all a matter of who you surround yourself with and how you treat others too.
Hmm.
As we say, like, be careful how you treat people when you climb the ladder because that's gonna be the same people you're gonna meet again when you get down that the same ladder.
Right.
It's just okay. I'm gonna change what I said earlier. Maybe one of the best advice I received from one of my instructors is be a good human.
Hmm.
And don't be a good human just because you want something. Just generally be a good human.
Right.
Nobody wants to work with an asshole. Nobody wants to work with someone who thinks they know everything. And sometimes, even if sometimes you're not there yet, just because you are kind and you're kind to people, not because you want something in return, but just because you have a good heart, that might bring you sometimes even higher than anything else.
Hmm.
What you give to the universe, because I believe in that personally, but what you give to others you might get back, but don't expect it.
Right.
Just be for
100%.
because being a human at the end, the greatest pleasure, in my opinion, to be a human being is to give.
Right. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
Yes.
Treat them even better.
Yes. 100%. That's so true. Well, that's one thing I love. We're a community. We support each other, and
Exactly.
that's one thing I love about it. So, again, thank you for coming on.
Thank
And
you for
I would
having me.
love to have you back again in the future or soon, whenever you have your next project. We can talk about your next film and all that stuff. I would love to have you back.
Oh, I mean, if you have me, I would appreciate it, honestly.
You're always welcome back.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. Have a
You're
good
very
night.
welcome. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Bye.